Yeah, what's happening with y'all, man? About to go in this gym real quick. We on like day 80,000. No haircut. Know what I mean? We about to clean this shit up a little bit. We gonna keep this shit going for a while. You know what I mean? We gonna keep going with the no haircut thing for a while. Fuck it. I mean, it's cold anyway, so I'm gonna have to wear a hat anyway. So, you know, we about to clean up all that. I guess that'll look a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? But let's talk about this shit, man. Cause I hear a lot of complaining, you know, about the man won't take care of his kid, the women won't take care of their kid, this and that. And I hate to say it because, you know, people are just gonna hear what I say and they just gonna be like, man, I ain't listening to that video. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? But the truth is the truth, man. I need like a towel to wipe that dust off. The truth is the truth, man. And even if you fucked up and had a kid by the wrong person, it's never too late to not fuck up again. That's what a lot of people don't get. Like, all right, you fucked up, right? But ignoring it and shit like that is the type of shit that makes you do it again. Like, you make the same mistake over and over again. Like, when do a motherfucker learn, all right, these are usually the bad ones. These are usually the good ones, whatever. Let me pick what's right or don't pick it all. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, for instance, most men, we want a good looking woman, right? And for the most part, good looking women are usually, I didn't say all. I'm going to say most because it's true. Most of them are talking to multiple men. Most of them think the world's all about them. I can go on and on, right? Me knowing that, I have to take that in consideration. I can't just ignore it like most men and say, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to pick this girl anyway. I'm going to simp to her anyway and all this other shit. And then when it all falls down, I'm going to cry about it on Facebook or cry in my spirit and all this other shit. Nah, man, you just gotta be smart about it. Like, all right, this is how most women move, so I'm gonna move around it. I'm not gonna choose them. And if I do deal with them, it's only gonna be on a certain type of level. It ain't gonna be no wife level. It is what it is. But what happens is a lot of people, seems like I can't hear myself. There, that's better. That's way better. I can actually hear myself. It seems like a lot of people think they can change motherfuckers. This is the problem. You can't change a motherfucker, dog. Like, if the woman did this to this guy, what makes me different? What, like, all right, she cheated on this guy, but, you know, I'm different. This is what a lot of people think. Like, I'm going to get with her and she's going to change. No, she still is who the fuck she is. She's only going to do what she wants to do. There's nothing, it's not about the guy. Or it's not about the girl that makes, I don't like how that feel either. I don't like that. It's not about the guy or the girl. Like, when I say this, it's not about, see, a lot of y'all think that you are the one that's going to determine whether this motherfucker is a good husband or a good dad to his kid. No, it's them. It's them at the end of the day. When I look at a woman, I have to consider who the fuck she is. I can't be like, well, I want her to be this. No, what is she? What is she? If this is what she is, I got to accept that. Or if this is how she feels about me, I got to accept that. A lot of people don't want to do that. They want to change people. They want to hope that they feel. Fuck that hope shit. I hope you do better or you do what's right. Or I hope you like me. Nah, fuck the hope shit. Do you see it or not? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we all picked the wrong people at some point in our life. Everybody made the mistake. But you got to learn from that shit. Like, if you don't, and you pick the wrong person, it's all on you. You know, I'm tired of hearing people complain about men not being dads, but why didn't you make the motherfucker marry you first? I'm not saying if somebody marries you that it's guaranteed it's going to work, but at least, man, most men ain't going to marry you unless they really trying to fuck with you. That's a key. Most men are not going to marry a woman unless they really trying to fuck with them. So why don't women make them marry them first? I don't understand this shit. Instead of what they do is marriage is going to keep him or a baby's going to keep him, and it's not going to keep him. It's just not. You know what I mean? What do men do? I'm going to get her pregnant. She can't leave. Yes, she still fucking can leave, motherfucker. You know, this is what men think. This is what happens a lot of times. Sometimes it's not necessarily the woman, literally got pregnant by the guy. A lot of times it's the man doing the shit, getting the woman pregnant. Because at the end of the day, if men are the leaders, they have control over whether they put the rubber on or not. Yeah, the woman could pop birth control, whatever the fuck you want to say. I'm tired of hearing that shit with men. You're not getting that off. You know, even Mo Better will try to say the rubber busted, and I'm not hearing none of that shit. I'm not hearing none of that shit. Because, okay, the rubber busted. Why you fucking a girl that it's like this. Okay, if the rubber does bust and I get her pregnant, I don't have no problems with being in her life and being in my kid's life if I did get the girl pregnant. See, what's happening is I just want a nut, so I don't really like the woman. And if she got pregnant, I don't want nothing to do with the kid or her. That's what's really happening. So there's no excuse, even if the rubber did bust. You shouldn't be fucking with a woman that you don't like. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. But that's not how men are moving. It's all about, I just a nut. I just want a nut. Man, fuck that. I can get a nut myself. If I don't find some type of liking to the woman and attraction to the woman, why am I fucking her? I don't understand this shit. I don't understand why men do that. It makes no sense. What do you get out of that? To me, if I don't like you, there's nothing I get out of this. Just like if a woman really not fucking with me, why do I want to fuck the chick? In other words, why would I pay for the chick, buy the bottles or whatever the fuck men do, simp basically, to get a woman to give me sex? I don't want that. Because if it's not validational sex and it's transactional, I feel like it's borderline rape. Like the girl don't even really want me like that. She just doing it out of for money or something. Nah, man, fuck all that, man. How can you really look at yourself and be proud over that? Like, yeah, I fucked her, but she only did it because I bought her bottles. Man, fuck that shit. It's a way better feeling knowing the girl fucked me because she wanted to. And it's a better experience. That's why a lot of you motherfuckers got beg to get head and shit. Because the girl don't like you, motherfucker. If you got, man, look, man. Y'all killing me, man. You know, it seemed like they said, I'm so tired of men only saying that it's the woman's fault because she has the gateway to sex. Basically, she's the one that has more control over if sex happens or not. You know what I'm saying? But that's still no excuse, man. It's still no excuse because at the end of the day, you men want to be considered leaders. You want women to look up to you and all this other shit. Well, where's your fucking decision making at then? See, nobody want to talk about this shit. No woman on earth got pregnant by herself. A man did some shit to get that woman pregnant. She pregnant by somebody. Somebody got her pregnant. And where the fuck is he at? Know what I'm saying? What happens is he made his bed, but he don't want to sleep in that motherfucker. That's exactly what's happening. And on the flip side, the women are picking the so-called bad guy. And the reason, and when I say bad guy, I'm just trying to make a distinction between what's good for a woman and what's not. It doesn't necessarily mean that if a man's a player and he doesn't want the woman or whatever, that he's a bad guy. It just simply means he's bad for the woman. So anytime y'all hear me say bad guy or bad woman in a video, understand what I'm really trying to communicate. We all have good and bad sides, so y'all already know what time it is. It's more or less, is the person good for you or not? A lot of times, what happens is the attraction, man. That attraction is a motherfucker. You know, and you can't blame women for this. See, a lot of men, they be 500 pounds and no ambition in life and all this and crying about what she got with the bad guy. Well, because the bad guy, or whatever you want to say, label him, he's probably more attractive for whatever reason. And if you was a man and you had the same choice, you would get that so-called supermodel pregnant over the 500-pound woman. You're not going to pick the 500-pound woman, so you can't expect women to do that shit. I understand why women choose certain men, but they got to stop overlooking who the man is. You got to. You can't be like, well, I'm attracted to him. I'm just going to ignore the signs. You can't do that. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. They're hoping. Fuck that hope shit. Okay, he's 6'5" with tattoos, my pussy wet. But how does he move? What does he think like? If he doesn't move a certain way, that's right. If he doesn't think a certain way, that's right. You can't fuck with it. Period. You can't fuck with it. If I see a supermodel chick and she talking that bad bitch shit, not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. Yeah, highly attracted to the girl. But look how she thinks and she moves. Why would I put myself in that position? It don't make sense. And that's how people got to think. You just because you're attracted to a motherfucker or want something, don't mean you should try it. I'm sure crack is the best fucking shit in the world. That's why motherfuckers can't stop smoking this shit. That don't mean I should try the shit. You see what I'm saying? Just because something might be the best shit ever, don't mean you should try it. Is it good for you or not? Probably not. You know, but I think a lot of times motherfuckers just got to experience it. I just got to see what it's like to fuck the guy. And it ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. If they don't got the credentials that can keep you from getting hurt, don't do it. And I know what y'all gonna say. They was good at deceiving you and all this and all that, man. Y'all know I'm not buying that shit no more. Because if I know when something's off or something about a person, so do you. Problem is you're attracted to them, so you're going to ignore the signs. You're going to give them more chances than you would a motherfucker that you don't really like that. Period. If a woman look like a supermodel, step on the dude's Jordans and shit, it ain't, damn. It ain't that big of a problem, huh? But if it's some girl that ain't that good looking shit, now you mad and all this other shit. It's ridiculous, for real. But that's how it goes, man. But you gotta treat them the same. I don't give a fuck if she's 1,000 pounds or she's a supermodel. I'm treating her the same. Period. I'm treating them the same. It don't matter. Just like at work, motherfuckers might be nice to certain women who don't look that, or who do look good, and then the other ones, they act like they just nothing and all that. Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna help the other girl whether I'm attracted to her or not. It don't matter. They all get treated the same. I look at them all the same. And when I say that, it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't see this girl as a special girl better than all the rest. It's just how I approach the girl as far as picking the person. When you pick somebody, you gotta look at it the same. You can't play favoritism. Like, he's 6'5" with tattoos, so I'm just gonna let that slide. You know, I know he was flirting in front of my face. Nah. You treat him the same as a guy you don't like that much. He was flirting in front of my face. Well, I gotta leave this motherfucker alone. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? But y'all not doing that, man. One thing I know about women is they know who's who. They can play all they want. Like, I don't know who I should pick. You know who the fuck's who. The problem is you're just not attracted to them, and that's fine. You gotta find somebody that you're attracted to that's good, though. I'm not here telling motherfuckers to settle for somebody they're not attracted to, because you're not gonna be happy that way. But you gotta make sure these motherfuckers is right. You got to. Or just stay single. If you can't find it, stay single. If not, you're gonna have to lay in that bed, man. And ain't nobody gonna be there to pay for your choice but you. You're the one that's gonna have to pay for that shit. A lot of times you see women having kids and shit. Dude long gone. He gone. He off fucking other women. Now you got kids to worry about. Now that's making it harder for you to get with somebody. You know, because a person might be skeptical, like, she got kids, I don't know, the baby dad, this and that. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, he can just go over and get another girl. You know, but you gotta suffer. Y'all both did something together and made a kid together, but he off somewhere else, not even facing the consequences of the shit, but you are. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you don't get pregnant by the wrong motherfucker, man. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, man. Attraction is cool, but to me, it's more important who the woman is. It's more important. Yeah, I gotta be attracted to the woman, but that's not the most important thing. Because if that was the most important thing, then I'd probably be a dumbass, simping, and all this other shit. Because most women who look highly good, you already know what time it is with them. You know, they got 10,000 billion men in their face every day. So their heads is big as fuck, and they expect all men to bow down to them and be their bitch. And you are a dumbass if you do that, because you're not getting that woman if you do that. The better looking she is, the more you really have to not treat her, but approach the situation as she's just a normal woman. Because you're not going to get her if you don't. She's just going to put you right in that little box of everybody else. She's looking for a guy that makes her feel like, I ain't going to say less than her, but more like not her fan and shit. She don't want a guy that's like her fan and all this other shit. But y'all don't get that shit. Y'all gonna keep doing this shit. And y'all gonna keep just judging women off their looks. And you're gonna keep getting burned, man. I ain't saying get an ugly woman. I'm just saying stop putting the woman's looks on the fucking pedestal. What else does the woman do besides look good? If all you're going to do is just pick a woman based off her looks, don't cry when she's not feeding your baby. Don't cry when she got men around your baby. Don't cry if she don't want to be a mother to your baby. Remember, all you looked for was looks. And then you got her pregnant like a fool. Same thing with the females. If all you're going to look for is tattoos and because he talks a certain way and all that bullshit that don't matter, don't cry when the repercussion come. You know, you got to look for what's really important in motherfuckers. Period. Because at the end of the day, the woman that I be with and all this other shit is going to eventually make everybody else invincible anyway. You know, because when you really attracted to a motherfucker like that, looks, they're not irrelevant, but they are irrelevant because that's not why you like the person. You don't look at them every day like, man, she look good and all this little puppy love bullshit. That's not what it is anymore. It's about who they are at the end of the fucking day and how they treating you and do they got long-term attributes when it comes to liking a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But people go too much off of the base. Well, he looks better than her or she looks better, so I'm just going to pick that, you know, and then they're going to get burned. Then they're going to be crying and shit. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. All I can tell y'all is learn how to fucking try to figure out. I'm still trying to figure this shit out somewhat. Try to figure out what's important when it comes to a woman. What is the important shit? More than the little bullshit. Her ass is nice and big. That shit. Dog, I get it. You don't want a woman with no ass at all. Who the fuck really do? I get that part. But all that, what about all the other shit? What about all the other shit? Okay, this girl looks better. Say you're a guy that likes looks. This girl looks better, but she wants you to be the simp. And this girl looks good too. But she looks at you as more like a king. Why the fuck you picking that? Cause she look better. What about all the other shit that this girl got going on? It's like y'all not looking at the overall investment. It's like you see the pro, it's like pros and cons. You see a couple pros and then you're sold on that, but you ignore all the other shit. It's kind of like 80-20. You know how they say, sorry, y'all. My bad, the fucking protein shit. It's like y'all rather lose the 80% for the 20%. That don't make sense to me. I'd rather you can have the 20%. Give me the 80. Nobody's perfect. I'm not going to get a 100% woman. Kind of like, let's say a woman has a kid and she's perfect. But these girls don't have a kid, but they foolish, fun girls and shit. You're better off picking a girl with a kid. Let's say the girl with the kid got her shit going on and everything. Why the fuck? I get it. You think that one's better because she doesn't have a kid, but that don't even be the case half the time. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe this guy got a little bit more money, a lot more money than this one. But this guy will do way more for you than this one. Why are you picking that one? It don't make sense. This guy with a lot of money, he really don't like you. You know what I mean? He just look at you as pussy. But this guy look at you as a fucking potential wife. And he got money and shit too. He got enough. Why are you picking this one? What? Because he's 6'5" with tattoos or some shit? It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. I don't give a fuck what y'all say, man. And you know, it's harder for women because they got the pickings, man, that the vagina gives them the opportunity to interact with any man damn near. Basically any man, literally any man. So now it's even harder. They think, a lot of women thought that social media would make it easier for them to find love. Like, you could just sit on here, I ain't got to be in their face. You know what I mean? All this other shit, this is going to be easy. I'm going to find a guy for certain, but it don't work that way. It actually made it harder. Because at least before the social media and shit, you could kind of see and know who's really fucking with you, who's really trying to get at you, versus now it's like a whole sea of motherfuckers. And yeah, they trying to get at you, but for what reason? Before social media, they probably would have never even spoke to you or some shit like that. It's kind of like a rich man. When it comes to social media with females, it's kind of like a dude that became rich or some shit. Now every woman on earth likes him. But before that, it wasn't that hard for him to figure out which woman would fuck with him if he was on his mom's couch trying to make it in the game or some shit, become an athlete or a rapper or something. But now, once you are the athlete, rapper, whatever you doing that makes you paid and shit, now you got to figure out who the fuck really fucking with you. Now apply that shit to a woman at birth, because basically that's what the fuck it is. The vagina puts them in this situation. And they gotta understand you gotta understand the power of the vagina. You know what I mean? It makes you worth something because you got the vagina and shit like that. Men love the woman and shit like that. They go crazy over shit like this. But you can't use the power in the wrong way. You're supposed to use that power to find the right guy that deserves the shit. You know what I mean? But y'all not, most ain't doing that. They using it in the wrong way, or they're giving it to the wrong people, which is the same thing as misusing it. Same thing. Because they think, well, I got the power of the vagina, so therefore I can make this dude that don't really like me like that like me like that. It's not how it works. That's just not how it works, because you got to remember, other women have a vagina too. It's no different than a man. Well, I got this money, so certainly I can make this girl like me. No, because other men got money. You're not the only one. It is what it is, man. You know, all I can say is people need to own up to their choices in men and women and realize that, all right, I like these type of women and men, and it's never working. Maybe I should switch up my shit. A lot of people don't want to do that, though. Really, it'd just be a little bit of tweaks that you like in a motherfucker that's throwing shit off. And some of it is basically purely based off of who a person is. But you ignore that, or you give them passes because you like them and you feel like nobody's perfect and people make mistakes and all this and all that. We get all that bullshit, man. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. When people do what they do and act how they act, that's what the fuck they are. There should be no reason why you ignore this shit. I'm not going to ignore how a woman moves. I don't care how much I like her or think I like her. If I see her flirting with all these guys, then I'm just going to assume that, all right, she just likes a lot of men. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if I'm wrong. It don't matter. I'd rather do this than to be wrong later and be sorry later. It is what it is. And one thing I'm definitely not going to do is try to prove she should pick me. Why the fuck would I do that? But you know, I will say this. I feel like a lot of men are putting on this husband act to get pussy, man. You know, and that's where a lot of women trip up at. Like, I know people who have Facebooks, you know, they post like they care about every fucking thing in the world and all this and pray for this and all that. But in real life, they fucking wolves, man. They wolves in sheep clothing. Plain and simple. So a woman gonna see that, and if a guy is attractive or got certain things going on and shit, she probably gonna pick that shit, or at least chance that shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, but if you hold your ground and be patient, a wolf is gonna show that they're a wolf. You know, you're gonna see through the fabric of that sheep clothing at some point. Something's gonna be there because God got you. If your intentions are good, God's always gonna show you little things. Like, see what she did right there? Look, she's flirting with that guy too, and that guy too. Damn, I can't take her serious. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, people. A lot of deception going on, you know, but we gotta sleep in the bed we make, you know? We got to sleep in the bed we make. We can't start pointing a finger at other people because we made that choice. We made that choice, man. Our imprint is a direct result of what we like and what we want and what we desire. That's why we have to shift what we like and desire about women or men. You have to shift what you like or desire about the opposite sex to what matters and what's right. You got to learn how to like this. You know what I mean? Like some women, oh, he don't smoke weed, I don't like that, fuck that. Even if you did smoke weed, you should like that about a man. Like, that means his mind might be right. Maybe he won't be dumb and cheat on a good woman because his mind's right, he's sober. But most women that smoke weed, they're going, nah, I don't want that because he don't smoke weed. So therefore, we're not compatible. That's crazy. Maybe he might make you think about, you know what, I think I want to quit too. Then you can have the opposite effect. Maybe the woman don't smoke weed and she pick a guy that smoke weed, now she's smoking or drinking or doing drugs. This happens too. A lot of people didn't even start doing drugs until they got with a certain person. Now they strung out and shit. You know what I'm saying? Little shit like that. Like, it matters, man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, because if you're going to be around this person all the time, how can they not have some type of influence on you? Just like when they say winners hang with winners, that's why. So if you're picking a partner, don't you want them to have a lot of shit that you have in common? A whole lot, or think the way you think, at least? I don't give a fuck if she smokes weed or not. Does she think like me, like how she sees the world? I can't, again, 80-20. Maybe the 20% she smokes weed, but what about maybe the 80%? Everything else is on point. I think I could deal with that. Then you can have a woman who don't smoke weed, but everything else is all off. We don't agree with shit. You see what I'm saying? Hey, I'm out of here, man. Just remember, they're gonna fake that shit to get pussy. Remember that shit. Give it time for them to give it time for God to reveal who they are. Plain and simple. So before you jump in your feelings and I met a 6'5" guy, dark skinned with tattoos on my pussy so wet. Give it time, man. Give it time. Sometimes you might realize, man, I don't even really like this motherfucker. I got to know him. I don't think I like him like that. Or I don't like her like that. I thought I did, but I didn't, type shit. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, our decisions that we make in life are our decisions, and we can point the finger at other people to try to erase a choice that we made, but it don't get erased. In fact, it gets worse because you're not owning up to it. The only way to really erase a mistake is to learn from the mistake. There's no other way. If I don't learn from my mistakes, then it's never going to be erased, ever. Even though some mistakes we make, we might have to pay for forever and shit like that, but you can kind of consider it erased if you don't ever make it again. Okay, I had a kid by the wrong person, and you never try to do that again? Possibly. And even if you do have a kid by somebody and it don't work out, you know the characteristics of motherfuckers who's going to leave you high and dry and who's not. It's not hard to tell. It's not hard to tell. So even if I did have a kid, I can't guarantee that I'm going to be with her forever. But I could look and see, like, she cares about certain things. She cares about herself, the way she moves, the way she thinks. If I had a kid by her and we didn't work out, I think my kid would be good. Motherfuckers don't do that, though. They worry about 6'5" with tattoos when she got a big ass. You know? Now I got a baby mama, I'm going to cry to everybody because I got to pay child support and shit. But you knew how she was moving. You know what I mean? And if you didn't know how she was moving, that just shows that you didn't even look into the woman. You was just worried about the big ass. You know what I mean? Or you was just worried about this 6'5" with tattoos. You didn't even take time to study the motherfucker. You know? It is what it is, people. Gotta lay in that bed, I guess. Ain't no other way around this shit. Nobody gonna lay in that bed but you at the end of the fucking day. Nobody.